We got some information regarding Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3, and before I start, take it with a grain of salt. It is still technically a leak, but this is coming from the same group that initially revealed that Xenoverse was happening back in October. So it's a very reliable group, but then again, you never know. I just want to toss it out there just in case. But there's some good information here, and that's why I decided to cover this video. And if you want to chime in at any point, especially nowadays, because YouTube is going to punish you if you don't get this, make sure you like and comment the video, and let me know your thoughts in regards to everything happening with Xenoverse. Number two, if you missed it, Xenoverse 3 is happening. This is the game that they showed off with the Time Patroller, which we can now reveal is a Time Patroller. The Time Patroller, or like the mystery character, I guess, that we've seen at the Genki Matsuri event in January. And if you missed that news, I will link them in the description below, or you can just check my channel last week and see for yourself. But Bandai Asia basically leaked that it is Xenoverse 3. With that said, let's see what this new information is, because I think it's very, very important. So, first and foremost, the tweet says, Sofian claims to have known about the start of the development as early as 2020, according to this information. The delay is due to change in strategy. The devs decided not to release the game on older generation consoles like the PS4 to avoid technical limitations. They prefer to start from scratch to create a fully next-gen graphics and deepen with gameplay mechanics, which is very, very important. I know this is going to be disappointing to some of you guys who are still on a PS4 and didn't get a chance to get a next-gen console. But like, this is one of those things that I feel like you have to leave the older consoles behind to make a good game. They cannot fumble Xenoverse 3. I mean, they can. Like, no, they can. But they don't want to. If they fumble Xenoverse 3, it's going to be a generational L. Because Xenoverse 2 is very, very good. It has flaws. But as a game, it was a great game. In my opinion, I feel like the Xenoverse series should be a blueprint for anime games in regards to how you give the player, the customer, us, as much content, as much ways to play as possible. A lot of times we get these anime games that are so bare bones where it's like one mode or slideshow story mode. And it's like, this is what y'all cooked up, bro. You better get back in the lab because this is some buns. So you can't get Xenoverse wrong. So I respect them for starting over because they realize, yo, we're holding ourselves way too much with the PS4 and older stuff. So again, if you're in a PS4 and older gen, I'm sorry, but this needs to happen to strengthen it. Let's read the rest of the interview. In 2020, I was one of the few Frenchmen to officially announce that to you that a Dragon Ball Xenoverse was in development, and I can prove it with my video from 2020. Which I can confirm. There's a lot of video back in 2020 that were coming out that Xenoverse was happening. And I remember around the time it was kind of confusing because people announced Xenoverse out of nowhere, and then everybody rolled with the story, and then nothing happened. And then we got Sparking Zero, so it's like, huh? But I guess with them starting over, it makes sense why we got no information. I was alongside the Xenoverse 2 development team, Dragon Ball FighterZ producer Tomoko Hiroki, who was also there for Dragon Ball FighterZ event. Indeed, I was able to chat with them really briefly. It was very quick, but they were there to take notes for their next title. So to me, everything implied that it was for Xenoverse 3. And I told you that in the video. You can find on my YouTube channel. But then why so many years in development for this next Xenoverse? This is the question a lot of us have. It's like, with how popular Xenoverse was, why did we wait essentially almost a decade for the sequel? Because there was a massive delay and a new strategic choice was adopted. Here's the information that I got from my sources. The game Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3 was a bit prettier than Xenoverse 2, but it was nothing exceptional compared to the rest of the competition. So basically, they made Xenoverse 3 and they were like, we could do better, which I respect them for that. And consequently, they wanted to level up the graphics by redoing everything from scratch from A to Z regarding this title. That's why there was a delay. Again, this is the initial information that we got back in October as well, that the game was built from the ground up and it's very, very pretty. Afterwards, they also decided to deepen the game to offer an optimal experience for the player, which is important. I even spoke to my friend Sakio Devin, who confirmed my sources, who also had heard that the game was Xenoverse 3 was supposed to be developed for both PS4 and PS5. And consequently, inevitably, if you develop it on PS4, you find yourself graphically limited. And that is why they explained to me that they wanted to complete graphical overhaul to push the game much further. It would be a next-gen exclusive with a gaming experience, what I've been told, much more developed, with a more developed online mode, which again is important. Again, if you're new to Xenoverse, what held the game back the most was the desyncs to happen. And I can confirm to you, back in, I want to say like 2016, 2017, I actually was in a developer room with Hirano-san myself. It was me, Syriax, I think Afro Senju was there, a couple friends, and we got a chance to basically pitch everything that's wrong with Dragon Ball games, number one, but at the time specifically, Xenoverse 2. This is the infamous story that we talk about where Dion Syriax brought like a 30-page document to basically talk about every issue wrong with the game. And they took notes. We were in that room for hours, by the way. But unfortunately, after that, I remember nothing came of it, obviously. So my theory was they took some of that information, they worked on Xenoverse 3, which got us to 2020 with this story, and then they started over. So that explains why we got nothing regarding that. However, now that we're here, I'm confident that a lot of that information went into this game. I hope. We covered every ground, trust me. So I'm excited about that. But again, the big one for me has always been online mode, because if the online sucks in regarding how desyncs basically ruined the game. I mean, look at this gameplay right here. This is the infamous clip I always showed me and Lotus. I showed Hirano-san this clip back in the day. I showed it to the entire team. I was like, bro, this cannot happen. This wasn't even lag. This was just, the game was just bugged, bro. Like, you guys gotta figure this out. And they know. So this can't happen ever again. So if they end up fixing that Xenoverse 3 with how pretty it looks, I think it will be generational. On top of that, again, the beauty of Xenoverse, I like to bring this up all the time, is it offers gameplay for everybody. You know, you can't make everybody happy at the end of the day, but Xenoverse, goddamn, they tried. They tried. You had the little board game Hero Coliseum mode that they added later, so something that's different other than fighting. They had co-op, they had raids, they had story mode, they had like basically parallel questing play with friends. That's so many things to do, and that's something that I really liked about the aspect of Xenoverse. Like, I know some of you guys are very, very loud how you don't like the Xenoverse franchise, and again, to each and their own, it is your opinion in the day, but you can't deny like how good of a game this game is for the average customer. Again, you're not gonna make everybody happy. You know, some people want games like Fighters, some people want RPGs like Kakarot, some people want, I guess, games like Dragon Ball The Breakers, the three of y'all. But at least Xenoverse tries to do a game that like works for a lot of people. And honestly, the ones that slept on it and decided to just like write it off because it's just another anime arena fighter, I highly recommend that when this does reveal to be Xenoverse 3 officially, you guys give another shot, because the game had a lot of depth that made the game amazing. Again, there's a reason why it's been so popular for the last decade. Anyways, with the well-crafted story mode, because that's what we are talking about, actually having a successful, well-deepened game with tons of content. Logically, that is what they told me, that there will be quite a bit of content that will be truly deep, and consequently, well, I want to know more about it. So that's the most recent information. Again, grain of salt, because technically this is just still what people say they heard. You know, oh, I heard this, I heard that. But again, this is coming from a group that's been pretty accurate the last, I guess, 10 plus years. So keep an eye out for what happens. But I think this is a good thing. You know, I saw when Xenoverse 3 leaked officially like a week ago, one of the things that people always talk about the most whenever the next game is being developed is leave the last console generation behind. We've seen that with the PS3 when we had the PS4. Now we're seeing that with the PS5. Leave the PS4 behind. Like, you can't make every console happy. This is why, like, when you backport games to like other, like for example, didn't Sparking Zero come out on Switch 1 and it looks like awful? Like, you always gotta hold something back that's gonna kill the product end of the day. But I think what they gotta do whenever you get to the next generation of a game or like a sequel, if it's far enough, you gotta leave the older console behind. Again, it sucks because some of you guys are still on the PS4, maybe not in a situation to get upgraded to the next Xbox or the next PlayStation. Sorry, my allergies are on fire right now. But the thing is like, you need to abandon those consoles to make the main game better. And again, I might sound selfish saying this, but if we're gonna leave the PS4 behind to make the PS5 version truly a next-gen experience, I'm here for it. Because if they do this game right, you have to think about this. If they do Xenoverse 3 right, we're talking about a game that's gonna be played for a very, very long time. The Xenoverse Legacy, we're talking about a very, very long time. Because think about it, the Tenkaichi series we still play to this day, to the ones who still have, you know, older consoles. You know, obviously Sparking Zero came back and revived the Tenkaichi series, but Xenoverse has been played for 10 plus years now, since 2015, 2016 with the sequel. And if Xenoverse 3 ends up being great, that's another 10 plus years of the Xenoverse franchise being alive, totaling 20 plus years for just one franchise. That would technically beat any Dragon Ball game, technically, because you can't really count Tenkaichi anymore, because, you know, that franchise is on a PS2. If you had online, it's a little bit different. But you know what I'm saying? Like, people still play Tenkaichi, but people play Xenoverse, if that makes sense. I'm here for it. But yeah, let me know your thoughts about that. Is this good or bad? Obviously, I can expect some of you guys who are still on the older generation to be kind of upset about this. But let me know where you guys stand with this. And as always, as soon as we get more information regarding Xenoverse and I guess the journey to when we finally get this game revealed at Battle Hour, we will cover every aspect of it. If it's important, I'm going to make a video on it. So make sure you leave a like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And yeah. Make sure you also like and comment. I mean, I can't stress that enough because YouTube is so anal about that nowadays. It's like, if you watch the video but don't like it or comment, it's like, yeah, we're not going to show it to anybody. But hey, if you care, you'll see this. So I guess this is going to cater to the people who are only down for the Xenoverse 3, I guess, journey of this videos, whatever. That said, let me know your thoughts. And as soon as we get more information about this, we will cover it the second it happens. So yeah, see you guys in the comments.